What is the biggest movie theater gasp moment you've heard? Jurassic Park, when the dinosaurs first came on the screen. Even so much time later, it's really an impressive scene. The music they were playing still lives in my mind. Yes, and when I saw it, the biggest gasp was when the T-Rex first appeared. I was way too young to have watched Jurassic Park in theaters, but at the time, a lot of people thought it would be a family-friendly action movie. At least my parents did. Anyway, I remember the whole theater jumped when the T-Rex crashed through the Jeep's sunroof. I remember we went to see it in the summer of '94. It was in theaters that long. I still remember the gasps. I watched it with my son, and it's incredible how it holds up over 30 years later. By now, you'd think we'd laugh at the CGI, but no. I remember a sudden rumble in the theater when the velociraptor leaps up and snaps at someone's leg near the end of the movie. Half the room suddenly jerked their leg up into their lap. Hannibal Lecter in the ambulance, Silence of the Lambs. Signs. That scene from The Kids, birthday party in Brazil, you know the one. Signs was amazing to watch in the theater with surround sound. To this day, I feel dread passing by a cornfield. Just number. The call is coming from inside the house when a stranger calls. This one ages me. I remember hearing the entire audience gasp. That's such an iconic line that people still use today, only without knowing where it comes from and why it's such a big deal. That was a good movie. Mellish being slowly stabbed in Saving Private Ryan. It was striking in the audible gasps because half the theater went dead, wide-eyed, silent, so you could hear the other half that gasped, and then everyone was quiet. It was after a long trail of brutal storytelling, so it seemed all the more impactful that everyone's lungs would still react so viscerally. And the Jeremy Davies character just not doing anything. Opening weekend of Get Out, when Chris is strangling Rose and the police car shows up. We've all watched him fight his way through the worst racists, barely managing to escape, and then for a moment we're reminded, oh yeah, the world exists. And then when Rod steps out and it's a TSA car, the audience lost their minds with relief. The entire house going silent once Chris went upstairs absolutely terrified me. I had higher anxiety the rest of the time, so happy I saw that in the theater. I would say the reveal at the end of The Sixth Sense was a pretty cool experience to see in the theater. Same, the entire theater, myself included, gasped in unison like we'd been rehearsing harder than a synchronized swimming team. The shock and realization was quite the experience. All my vellus hair stood up, and I don't recall ever having that physical response to any other film, then or since. It was a lot easier to avoid spoilers in 1999 in general, but I happened to see it the first week it was in theaters, so I even avoided the "you have to see it because oh my god the ending" type of word-of-mouth spoilers. So not only did no one know the twist ahead of time, no one even knew to be expecting a twist at all. Probably the only true holy shit group gasp I've ever witnessed. I still can't believe that the guy in the toupee was Bruce Willis the whole time. It was, and the part with the abused wife ghost turning around in the kitchen made us all jump a mile. Inglourious Bastards. I was living in Germany at the time and saw the movie in an original version theater. These show films and the original audio helps for expats, but are mainly attended by bilingual Germans who don't like dubs. The scene at the bar, Michael Fassbender holds up 3 fingers. A huge gasp echoes throughout the theater. I look around. What did I miss? By looking around, you gave yourself away. I didn't retain as much from German class as I would have liked, but when we learned counting in German, the order of fingers was something that stuck with me. I had no idea how important that would be 20 years later. I was also in Germany and knew about the 3 fingers thing. I was so excited to know that he had blown everyone's cover with that gesture, and I also knew that the people I was with had no idea that their cover had been blown. It was like being in on a secret with the actors, knowing that everything was about to go south real fast. I caught this too. My dad taught me the German way of finger counting. He took German for his foreign language in high school, and it stood out to me a half second before others. I love it. Silence of the Lambs. The night vision goggles. When Buffalo Bill is waving his fingers just inches from Clarice's face. Most of the women in the audience gasped and screamed. The magic trick in The Dark Knight. It took a beat for most of the audience to realize what had happened. and then they all seemed to figure it out at the same time. Let's not blow things out of proportion. What's in the box? Women behind me were sobbing hysterically. Much of the theater was shaken up. Edit, say 7N for those who asked. I think the first big gasp in that movie, though, was the target who wasn't quite dead yet. Was it not an embarrassing photo of SpongeBob at the Christmas party? A few people I've talked to about the film blocked out the fact that Doe literally says what's in that box. That's how much they didn't want it to be real. Brad Pitt's acting during that moment is so good. The end of Rogue One, when it's dark and you can only hear Darth Vader breathing, and then he turns his saber on. Also in Interstellar, when those mountains turn out to not be mountains. The Green Mile, the one execution that goes horribly wrong. He didn't know the sponge was supposed to be wet. No, I Am Your Father, really. Saw this in the theater, along with the rest of the world in 1980. Second biggest was in Bruce Almighty, when Bruce got up in God's face and said, "You suck." Went to South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut on opening night. Walked in to start looking for seats and was shocked at how many kids were in seats with their parents. Movie gets to the Uncle F asterisk 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 song, and all the parents realized it wasn't a kids' movie. Audible gasp. I like how the title of Bigger, Longer, and Uncut didn't raise any red flags to these parents, lol. You don't eat or sleep or mow the lawn. I didn't get to see it in theaters because my mom was a responsible adult. On the other hand, my dad and stepmom were totally down with renting it when it first hit Blockbuster. They gave up and left me to enjoy it on my own shortly after. I don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die. Wasn't from a twist or shocking reveal. It was watching Peter Jackson's They Shall Not Grow Old, which uses hours of footage from World War I, which Jackson slowed down and colorized. The moment it went from the juddering black and white footage to the smooth colored footage drew an audible gasp from the whole cinema. You realize we've never seen actual footage from 100 years ago in color. Really powerful. A bit off topic, but I did see There's Something About Mary with my mom, and she said, "What's in her hair?" in an otherwise silent theater, loud enough for everyone to hear. Thanos actually snapping, followed by a deafening silence while everyone got dusted. I remember that vividly, the silence in the theater. I haven't kept up with Marvel movies much after Endgame, but I'm really happy I was invested at the time. It was a really quiet ride home after the movie. Even expecting that, somehow, the characters weren't actually dead. It was such a chilling experience. Similarly, the scene in Thunderbolts where the small girl was taken by the void. My favorite is when Thor's hammer lifts and is retrieved by Captain America. Those theater clips are my favorite. Oh, easy, and I don't see it mentioned here. Misery. You know the scene. Audience gasps. You hear from somewhere behind you, "Oh, that bitch." Gandalf falling. There were quite a few younger kids watching. Silence, then tears. I remember afterwards, one 8-year-old couldn't stop crying, so 18-year-old me bent down, and I told him it was okay, that he comes back. The kid looks up and says, "Promise?" and gave me a hug. His mom was like, "If you're lying, so help me God." No, I Am Your Father. I was 5. The theater gasped. My dad yelled, "Holy shit!" Seeing Jaws in the theater when the dead guy pops out of the sunken boat. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.